Alright guys, we're gonna do a quick story time, and today we're gonna be talking about this gentleman here, Rotimi. I mean, you probably know him by now from Power, or you've probably heard of a few of his songs, but I'm just gonna take you back to when he started, his early times in music and even in acting as well. And so let's go. At the time he got booked to be on the show Power. And I mean, there's a lot of key things to learn from this story here. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys. So at the time he got booked to be part of Power, the series. Yeah. He goes on set and meets 50 Cent, and there's a lot of twists to this story that is very interesting. Yeah. I mean, when I heard it, it was very interesting to me. That's why I'm re-narrating it here. So he goes on set, meets 50 Cent. Now, he was booked for one thing and one thing only, to come and act on the set of Power. And so he didn't go there to try and show 50 Cent that he's an artist as well. He just went there for one thing and one thing only, being professional. You get what I'm saying? So this is why sometimes it's not, when you're booked for one thing, just go there and execute your job. If later on the people find out that you are able to do other things, it's a plus. But always bear in mind, you're booked for one thing and one thing only. Unless given the opportunity to, show the other sides of you. So he goes on set to Power, doing his job as expected. Didn't mention to anybody that he's an artist, especially 50 Cent, who is in charge of the whole Power series. So on set of Power, like doing his regular acting gig, he was recording at the same time. And so he gets a phone call from, the producers that he was working with at the time. And they say to him, bro, we need you to come to the studio. Let's work on some few stuff, XYZ. And we have some people coming to check us out. And so, I mean, we want you to come. And if it was somebody, he could have just said, bro, I'm too occupied with, this series or this new gig that I'm working on, blah, blah, blah. He could have given any type of excuse not to show up. And so he decided, all right, boom, I will show up. And then he goes to the studio. Studio session was happening. And then a gentleman walks in. Now, this gentleman is an A&R. A&R simply means artist and repertoire. So A&Rs are scouts for record labels. So they are the people in charge of finding talents for record labels and production houses. And so this A&R walks in, and then how vibes is going on in the studio. And so he sees Spots Rotimi sitting down, and conversations sparked up. Asked him, is he an artist? He says yes. He asked him to play some of his songs. And so in between playing his songs and the conversations going on, it so happened that the A&R works with a bunch of people, including 50 Cent. Now, don't forget, Rotimi is already working with 50 Cent. But 50 Cent does not know that Rotimi is an artist, because he's only booked him as an actor. Now, this A&R becomes so impressed with Rotimi's music that he decides, listen, I like what you do. And at this point in time, the conversation has evolved so much that the A&R is aware that Rotimi is working with 50 Cent on Power. And so he says to him, listen, I have a meeting with 50. I can introduce you and your music to him. So this is the meeting time. This is the time and place, show up, and let's take it from there. And so again, Rotimi accepted the opportunity and then acted upon it. According to the story, he was even late for the set meeting that was going to introduce the music side of him to 50 Cent. All right, cool. So boom, he got there. He was late, but luckily for him, when he got in there, 50 Cent was also somehow late. He wasn't there at the time that they thought he would be there. So things worked in his favor. He got there before 50 Cent. In between, chopping up, having conversations and stuff, 50 walks in, and then 50 is introduced to Rotimi's music. And then 50 Cent, powerhouse. He's so impressed by the gentleman's music, so much so that he offers to sign him under G Unit. And this whole story was around 2014, 2015, thereabout. I could be wrong. If you know the dates, if you know about this story, drop a comment in the comment section. So Rotimi accepts to sign under 50 Cent, gets his first big bread, which is the front money. And to all upcoming artists, you know, the front money that record labels or labels give you is a loan, you know. Now that money is given to you so that you, the artist, you won't wake up in the morning worried about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, you know, how you're going to move about. I mean, front money is just for you. It's just to cushion you, to make you comfortable, and that's just it. But then some of you sometimes feel like, oh, they're just giving you money because you're too good or blah, blah, blah. No, it's a loan. So 50 Cent gives him front money. He takes this money, you know, he's doing whatever he needs to do. And then, I mean, you know, artists, we evolve. So, I mean, eventually I want to believe he chanced upon a sound that influenced his decision to switch from doing probably hip hop to Afrobeats. And then he goes ahead to tell his boss, 50 Cent at the time, that, boss, I've discovered this new sound and I want to explore. And so I want to move on and be able to, you know, explore this type of music a bit more. And so 50 Cent being who he is, and I believe at the point in time, Rotimi was trying to, you know, explain the whole Afrobeat vibe to him. He probably didn't know what it was, so, you know, and he was probably busy at the same time as well. So, I mean, he agreed to let Rotimi off the deal. But then this is the case where Rotimi owns him 300,000. This is the part of the story that made me, I mean, respect 50 Cent more. I mean, if it was somebody understanding that this is a young artist trying to, you know, come up in the game and all that, I mean, he could have chosen to stress the hell out of him because of the money. But 50 Cent just agreed to let him go. But then he needs to pay 300,000 back. And then knowing that Rotimi probably at this point in time didn't have the whole money to give him back, you know, agreed that he was going to collect mechanical royalties to pay up the money that Rotimi was owing him. So if you don't know what mechanical royalties are, it's like your streaming royalties, your performance royalties. If you're signed to Song Trust, you know, your writing royalties. If you're a songwriter, you can get royalties out of that as well. You have to be registered with Song Trust, or I mean, there's a couple companies that you can entrust with that responsibilities to collect your royalties on your behalf. So, you know, all of that royalties, I mean, in America, you know, this checks, they come pretty good. So he agrees that he's going to take mechanical, you know, royalties, I mean, percentage out of his mechanical royalties to pay up the money. And so, you know, he agrees. Rotimi, you know, respectfully, you know, they part ways, you know, on a good term, you know. So now Rotimi goes out there, experiment, comes out with a jam, an album per se, and then a song on there. You know, I'll play a snippet of the song for you. And then, you know, the song makes it onto the charts. So 50 Cent, you know, being a smart businessman that he is, clocks that, yo, this boy is up to something. He calls him up real quick and says to him, listen, I need to get paid. So this is what we're going to do, yeah? Just so that, you know, Rotimi, you know, gets more streaming and more, you know, get paid, get more numbers to make up the streaming, you know, the royalties so he can get his money. So 50 calls him up and says, listen, I'm just about to blow you up for wrong reasons. I'm just about to spread bad rumors about you, you know. So, I mean, fasten your seatbelt and get ready. I'm just going to tell people you owe me money. I'm going to tell people I hate you. If I meet you, I'm going to crush you. You know, 50 Cent is that, you know, he doesn't just talk the talk. He can actually do that. But I mean, I think at the point in time, you know, he was just trying to help the young man. I mean, you know, pay up the money that, you know, he owes him, blah, blah, blah. So, right, Rotimi, you know, I mean, I don't think at the point in time he had a lot of choice. Because, I mean, if he had a choice, his only choice was to pay up the money. If he had the money, but I don't think at the point in time he had the money like that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. So 50 Cent starts spreading rumors. Rotimi owes me, blah, blah, blah. Anywhere he goes, he starts saying, listen, I hate this young man, blah, blah, blah. He owes me money. When I meet him, I'm gonna, crush him. I'm gonna do this. How can he owe me this XYZ amount of money when he has a song that is number one in the country? Smart. So sometimes they say bad publicity, is good publicity if you understand how it works. And so he goes around telling everybody, this young man owes me money. His song is number one, and he's telling me he cannot pay me. So the more 50 Cent went around telling, everybody that Rotimi owes him and is not paying up, and he has a song that is number one, the more, Rotimi's numbers went up. The quicker he was able to, bits by bits pay 50 off. You get what I'm saying? And so, this is just brilliance, and this was done in a very mature way, in a very, very mature way that the two of them at the end of the day benefited. So 50 spread the rumors. Rotimi was getting calls upon calls. 50 Cent says he has a problem with you. When he meets you, it's going to be a big problem, Rotimi himself said at the point in time it became way too much that he couldn't bear it. You get what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it was paying off the bill. And so, at the end of the day, 50 Cent, ended up getting his money and more, according to the story. 50 Cent, got his 300,000 back and even more, and then I'm pretty sure till now they still have like an amicable, respectful relationship, because at the end of the day, it's not like they parted ways on a bad note. And even how Rotimi was able to pay 50 Cent back was out of 50's, intelligence. So this is just a story that I came across that I felt like, listen, we all need to learn from these things, yeah, especially within the Afrobeats community that is very much young. we are very, very exposed now, because the major artists leading the whole movement, they've attained worldwide success. But I feel like the generations behind them need to understand the business of this whole thing. If somebody signs you and gives you front money, it's not because you're too talented. It's just a principle. It's like you go to the bank and you explain to the bank why they should loan you money to go invest in your business. In this case, you, the talent, you get scouted by somebody who has, money to invest in you. And so the upfront money they give you is like a loan. Now, it's just to help you not to stress and be able to, get into your creative bag and be able to create stuff that's going to earn all of you money so that he can recoup his money. So always understand, it's a business transaction. It's not a favor. It's not because you're too good or you're too nice or you're good looking and all that. We should get off our high horses thinking, oh, somebody's spending money on you because you're too good. No, it's a business transaction. Respect the investors, and then, investors likewise respect the artists. When you decide to part away with your investor, let's try and do it in an amicable way, so that the investor will be able to recoup their money and, moving forwards and all that. So yeah, thank you for joining me and thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this story. If you know anything else that I left out of the story, drop it in the comment section. If you know of any other story that you would want me to, pull up on here, just drop it in the comment section. If I come across it, I'll definitely look into it and then we'll come and share with everybody. Thank you for joining me. It's exclusives right here. On to the next. Bless.